Well, to be honest, it's just a bit of background to get you excited about it. So no one's going to ask you any questions on the fact that there's $4 trillion a day being traded in foreign exchange in 2007. So you think, well, that's very interesting for 7 years ago, but there you go. London is by far the largest market. It used to be about 40%, we'd say they're 30%, but it's certainly got a good share. So, anything here which we need to know? No, not really. It's just vaguely interesting. So if you're fascinated, you can read it through. We note what they've got. On page 50, it points out that when we're talking to other people through communication devices, like SWIFT, for example, between banks, then we need to make quite sure everyone knows what currency we're talking about. It'd be a bit of a disaster if I said, no, I meant US dollars, not Canadian dollars, you idiot. And we've got confused. So every currency has a 3-letter code. Some of them are quite obvious, like USD and EUR, or JPY or GBP, and so on. But others are less obvious unless you happen to know, like ZAR. What does that? South African rands. You see, lots of people do it all the time. They just know like that. But other people are going, I don't know. The ZAR, the Zari, what's it? I don't know. It doesn't matter, frankly. In the exam, they tend to use things like GB pounds, euros, US dollars, Canadian dollars, Australian dollars, New Zealand dollars. But frankly, if they just call it the ABC, we can still do it. It doesn't matter. Okay. So we don't really care, but it's just vaguely interesting. Anything else here? Right. Well, there's quite a bit here we just need to talk about, or coming up here in the next page. And you can scribble it down. There's plenty of room to scribble it down, but I just want to bring up a blank to give myself a little bit more room. If we have the following, we need to be able to read a quote. So if I have something like this, GBP stroke USD 1.4490 stroke 05, that looks pretty weird. The first thing to say is, what are we actually talking about when we got GB pound stroke US dollar? Now, for those who are used to this sort of thing, that's fine. If we've got anybody that did, say, accountancy qualifications, anyone dare admit that? Okay. Then generally, as a general rule, accountancy qualifications do it the other way around, which is easier to think about, but technically not how they quote it. This is not GB pounds per US dollar. Slash does not mean per. The first currency is what we call the base currency. And the slash is basically an equals. It's saying £1 is what we're talking about here. £1. How much will you buy £1 for? How much will you sell £1 for? The price is in US dollars. So the first currency stated is always the base currency, and we're always talking about one of the base currency. So £1 is $1.4490 in this rate. Dash 05. We always get, when you ask a bank a question, no matter what the question is, they always give you two answers. Okay, that's just where the bank is. Okay, depends on whether you want to buy or sell a pound. They give you a different rate. So we always have the low rate and the high rate. Left and right, low rate and then the high rate in an exchange currency quote. Always. But what's the 05? Well, it's just that they say, well, for goodness sake, if you know it's 1.4490 and the next one's higher, it's just gone over the top. I'm not going to bother writing 1.4, etc. again. It's just the last two have gone over. So it must be not 1.4405. No, because that's going high-low. It must be 1.4505. And they haven't bothered putting it 5 because everyone knows it goes up, so it must have gone.